Welcome back. In this video I'll take a look at second gear and do some repairs.
Right, so this is second gear. There's a little bit of wear on those drive corners, but it's not too bad. The biggest problem is on these drive dogs. See on that, you can see it. It's very rounded. Now, the thing that you may not actually be able to see is this back edge. See, it's actually back cut. So it's wider at the top and a bit skinnier. So this side, you can see just how rounded off that is. So what I'm going to do is have a go at silicon bronze TIG, using the TIG for silicon bronze to build that up. And then to get it exactly right, I'm going to try to hold this in the lathe because I've got a mill, but I can't really easily make that sort of a shape. But I think I've got a way I can do this in the lathe.
So I changed my chucks over in the lathe, go from a 3-jaw to a 4-jaw. And I just want to see if I can hold this gear because there's not a lot to hold on. And just see if I can offset it so I can machine each of those 3 lugs separately. Because they do have that small taper on them as well. So that seems okay in the lathe, so I'll go ahead. I'm only using 30 amps here, so quite low amperage to keep the heat down. 1 pass of silicon bronze, and because it's right on that rounded edge. Do the 3 lugs. They actually come up pretty good. Silicon bronze works great. I've done this a couple of times on gears over the years. So I put in the lathe, I true it all up, and I start cutting this back so it follows exactly the same profile and taper. It's about a 3-degree angle.
I'm actually pretty happy with that.
So to put the bottom gear set in, you've got to take this bolt out with the washer, the first gear, or both those first gears and the bearing. Now, underneath that bearing just there is a washer. Once they're out the way, slide it through, feed the gears on. First gear, not first gear, but that first gear, then the bearing. Pass it over the bearing housing, and then you can put in the last gear there. Once it's in, put the bolt and washer back on, and that's broadly in position.
Now, that movement there will be locked in with this half ring that'll go there and then sit inside here. Here's our repaired second gear. So that'll go in. Might need a little bit of a tap over that edge. There we go. Now I've got to put this clip on to hold the gear in. Now normally one ring goes in, then the gear, then another ring like that. But what I'm going to do is take this ring off, put this straight on so it goes in a little bit deeper. And then put both of these on this side and then put the clip on. There we go. Next thing I'm going to do is put the gear selector fork in, and I want to see how far this moves over and meshes in. That goes in there. That's better. Yeah. Take this off, feed this through, put this on. Now this can only go in one spot because of that. Just make sure. There we go, that's in. Now just got to lift this up slightly. There we go, get that in. Now with the selector drum right in, it should rotate fully, and there's a groove in there that this bolt fits in. So this tab just needs to go in this space here. Don't mix these up. That one goes on that side. That one goes on that side. Put this washer in, and I've got to take this off. So that's got to fit through this hole. There we go. Get that there. This one. It's going to sit in there and go over here. Just thinking about it. Come on. That one's in. This one goes in here, sits in this groove. Push this in a bit further. Once it goes in, it goes and positions into that other pin there. It's a bit of a tight fit. There. Now you can see, hopefully, there's a little groove there. That's where the circlip goes. There we have it. There's second gear. When we rotate the drum, that is engaging quite well. So I'll just turn this the other way. You can get a much better view like this. That gear is fine. That goes in well. And here's second gear. And you can see with that washer out, that gap is reasonably close, and there's only a little bit of free play in the fork here, which there needs to be a bit for expansion, so that actually looks alright to me. Quite happy with that. So, well, I'm not going to know for sure. Silicon bronze I have had luck with before with gears. I'll try it. It's not much to lose. You can actually see the silicon bronze in there on that dog. Only a ride will confirm, but one thing's for sure, it's way better than what it was. Alright, so I'll just put this cover on. This is second gear's all done. Might as well just put a little bit here so it slips on nice, hopefully. Might need a bit of gentle persuasion. Right. Well, I think second gear is sorted. So that'll be it for this video. And then I'll do the next video, I'll complete the assembly of this engine. See you next time.